And we're live. Okay, so welcome to the Virally Equipped Masterclass. So you've already been letting me know in the chat, like where you're watching from, what your business is, and what you're most excited to learn about in this masterclass. And I just want to let you know that, again, I'm giving you a total behind the scenes look at what my experience has been going viral. I'm literally going to be sharing my screen and showing you my TikTok and Instagram statistics. And even in the last literal hour, I had a huge thing happen with a video that was about to go viral. That was a huge lesson that I had to kind of stop and recalibrate. So I'm going to even share that with you. I don't even have that in my notes, but we're going to get into it. But I just want to talk about who this masterclass is for. So if you've had videos randomly go viral on TikTok or Instagram, and you have no idea how to leverage it or how to optimize new eyes to your account, this is for you. I know there's women in here, and let me know in the chat if you've had something pick up speed and you feel like money maybe is being left on the table, or you just don't know what to do with that new viewership. I know in preparing for this masterclass that there were some women who were experiencing that. But also, if you are just simply online building your business and you want to be ready for the moment that virality literally comes busting through your door with the exposure that comes to your storefront with it, then you're also in the right place. I've had at least 6 or 7 videos go viral over the past several months since October, and it's been the biggest eye-opening experience. You go through the highest of highs, wondering if this is your breakthrough or your new foundation or your new baseline and the viewership that you've dreamed of. And then there's also lulls and lows after having a video go viral, which definitely has tested me and my mindset. And I'm going to share everything about that in this masterclass. So there can definitely be a mental health concept to this, which Tasha, I'm so glad your daughter is watching with us so that the younger generations can have some of these things in place beforehand so that they're better equipped to handle social media, and also for ourselves too. So all the highs, all the lows, all the lessons have led me here with you, here in my library, you in your bathtub or at home, wherever you are watching this, to the Virally Equipped Masterclass. You see, I only want to see women succeed, but I don't believe we need to sacrifice our mental or physical health. And so this masterclass, while having a lot of strategy around it, will also prioritize your mindset, which is going to be absolutely crucial in going viral. I think we have all seen, I kind of just touched on this, but how Gen Z influencers, especially those on TikTok, get thrown into the social media lion den without any boundaries or internal validation or self-worth. And then we hear about the mental health epidemic, the burnout, or even worse outcomes that can happen because of that. So nothing is worth these side effects. Social media is not worth these side effects. So this class is going to give you a foundation, the equipment that you need to not only optimize your virality when it happens, but also to feel freaking fabulous while it's happening. Because let's be honest, it's really fun. It's like a roller coaster ride, but those are fun, right? So inside of Virally Equipped, we are going to cover the backstory of what went viral for me and a few lessons I learned with each video and experience. And again, I just experienced another lesson about an hour ago. Then we'll cover reading the vibe of the app that we're on. And again, everything I'm sharing in this masterclass is my experience. It's not the end all be all. I think it's very beneficial to learn from multiple types of gurus and women who run their business on the internet, and then take what you will and what feels right for you and apply it to your own business. Then we'll get to the most important part: what strategic systems to have in place, ideally before you go viral or as soon as possible once the views start rolling in. And lastly, I'll share firm boundaries that have been literally crucial and essential to my mental health and well-being with all this extra attention and influx of commentary, followers, whatever have you. You do not want to miss the end of this masterclass either, because of course I have something really, really exciting that I haven't announced on social media yet that is just for you since you are part of this experience. But if you're ready, comment in the chat, let me know you're good to go. You've got everything you need, and we'll get started. Okay, perfect. So let me just get my water here. So let's start. I just want to talk a little bit about my personal experience with going viral. So in case you're new to following my page, because of maybe some of my viral videos and we haven't known each other for very long, I've been in the online space. I've had an online business. While it's evolved many times throughout the years, I've had a business for almost 11 years online. So I'm a seasoned vet when it comes to being on social media and running your business on it. I've created multiple six figures from posting online, which is pretty amazing, but that's definitely not all rainbows and butterflies. And in the past, when I didn't feel like I was getting much business or like the results weren't flowing in, I felt like it had to do with not having enough people see my content. And I learned throughout the past several years that that simply wasn't the truth. The more I put all of my eggs into just one social media bucket, and depending on which platform that was too, or just relying on one audience or group of people to pay my bills, the less money I had in my account. It was just way too much pressure. Let me know if you've ever felt that way too. So it obviously led to frustration, resentment, and just feeling like I was stuck in the mud. I knew I had great content. I knew what I had to offer was valuable, but the energy behind it was totally off, and my audience could sense that. I don't know what it is about being on the internet, but people can sense BS or like off-kilter energy from a mile away. And I'm sure you're aware that I am a cycle syncing coach. So the game changer behind my energy was really making sure I was more aligned with my cycle and the 4 phases and leaning into the 4 phases of my cycle to optimize my content and also my business overall. So once I could show up in a more authentic way, thanks to cycle syncing, I really did begin to gain some traction by making fire content during the phases of my cycle that supported it, especially on TikTok. And as some videos went viral, I realized that unless the right symptoms are also in place, you're going to really feel like you're behind, feel like you're not optimizing, feeling like there's money left on the table and the potential is lost. So I want to get into, with that said, I want to show you the videos that have gone viral for me and kind of like what I learned from each one. And just before we get into me actually showing you a screen share of my social media, just know that viral, the term viral, and the amount of viewership or views or followers that you get from that is going to fluctuate based on you and your audience. So 10K views could be going viral for you if you find yourself having a viewership around 1,000, just 1,000 every day. Or maybe, for like a bigger content creator on TikTok, such as like Alex Earl or Elise Myers, they would say 1 million views is a low day for them, while like I would be obsessed with getting 1 million views, right? So just know that this is my personal experience. This is viral for me. If you ever follow Chalene Johnson, she's like a social media guru, and they always use the term viral for me. So this content is big numbers for me, but that could look totally different for you. So let me switch my screen share. And we're going to get into a little bit of history with my social media. Okay, so I got 2 tabs here. Let me know if you guys can see that. We got my Instagram and then my TikTok. Okay. Okay, so let's look at my Instagram real quick. So I scrolled back a bunch. I like started out scrolling back a bunch because I wanted you to see I've definitely had videos go viral on Instagram, 217, 10K. I think my biggest one, let me go back to where that was. I don't know if I went too far, but as you can see, my average are in the thousands. And this was a little bit ago. This was last fall, 2021 fall, I want to say. Let's see. Let's click on her. So November 2021, okay? This is when Reels were having their moment. Instagram decided all of a sudden they were going to be real people. And I definitely optimized on that, and I didn't have the right things in place, but oh, of course it's going to reload. Okay. But anyway, most of my followers though on Instagram are from like friends and family, my network marketing days, and also just it's kind of like a hodgepodge of content and of people following me. But that being said, as you can see here, Reels has taken a dip. And I think we all, let me know in the chat if you're like screaming your head off at Instagram sometimes because it's so inconsistent. I'm going to get into the pros and cons of TikTok versus Instagram after this portion. But I definitely had stuff go way down. And I know social media gurus will say this isn't a thing, but I feel like for me, it was from joining Reels bonus, from opting in to receive a bonus from Instagram Reels, which honestly never went past $100 a month for me, even though I was making content every single day. But you can see like we're in the hundreds, we're in the low thousands. And for me, coming from a much higher viewership only a few months prior, and the only thing that changed was opting into the Reels bonus pot. I just like, and I've heard countless other people say that too. So let me know your thoughts on that. But you can see like last summer, I definitely had even more views than I have today, even though they weren't the most. I had 11K. So anyway, I'm not going to focus much on Instagram just because it's so inconsistent and so all over the place. And I feel like they don't know what they want. But I did want to mention that like, I can't scroll. This is going to take forever. But my biggest view here was like, I think 540,000 viewers from a video I did about not working out hard during your period. And then having like a 50K video go viral that was about Kim Kardashian. It was very relevant. It was after she wore that Marilyn Monroe dress, and I was pointing out how she probably had hormone imbalances because of the acne on her chin that came out. You can see that right here. I'm doing like kind of a Kim Kardashian headline thing. So Instagram's been a little bit all over the place and has been inconsistent. And so that's what's led me to obviously dip my toes into other social medias such as TikTok. I feel like having, I think they call it like omnipresence is super important without killing yourself. And so TikTok has definitely been amazing for me. So let me scroll down to some of the bigger videos that have gone viral for me, and so that I can go over the lessons that I've learned with each video that has gone viral on TikTok. But let me know in the comments while I'm scrolling down, like which platforms you're on currently, which ones you prefer, and like what platform you're a user on, I think is really important to notate as well. Wow, this scrolling is, okay. Let's see here. Okay, so we're getting closer. I think it's this one. Weight gain, that's the one. So in general, so I can only see analytics since January on TikTok, but I've gained over 200 or 22,000 followers since January alone. And I've really loved TikTok because I think for me, I go there to be entertained, to have fun, but there is definitely an education component that is great on TikTok. So as a business owner, if you can educate around whatever your niche or topic is, it can definitely be helpful. Okay, so let's get started with the video and what I learned. So my first video was here that went viral. It got 255,000 views. almost 20,000 likes, a lot of messages, and we don't need to play it.
My name is Jacqueline. I'm a certified women's hormone coach and
okay, so I personally actually don't use the term weight gain or weight loss much in my offers or what I teach, although those can be side effects that people experience from cycle syncing. But the thing about TikTok is that it's very much so like a search engine. So women are typically looking for ways to lose weight and to maintain weight loss. So I decided to test out using these specific type of keywords inside of my content on TikTok. And so I did not expect this to go viral. It was actually part of a series that I was doing that I did not, one of the lessons was I did not put like one of these caption titles on here. And so you didn't even know that there was like a part 2 and a part 3 here. And that was just a mistake that I would have done differently. And so because I didn't have anything put in place, I had no email list for them to go to. I had no real offer for them to try or to get them in on. I just tried to get them over from TikTok to Instagram because I actually didn't have the ability to put a link in my profile at this time. So with TikTok, you need at least 1,000 followers to be able to put links in your profile. And so I wasn't able to do that. So my goal with this was just to get people to DM me over on Instagram, and that worked and got me a few new followers, but it definitely was like a little bit harder. So I do think it is a priority to get up to like 1,000 followers on TikTok if you're able to. So that was in October. So then let's scroll through to November, and you can see like some of the videos surrounding this one, like this got 11K, 9K, 10K. So things that videos that surround a viral video definitely get a little bit of a push. This one, I think that was just a viral funny trend. And then we kind of go back down to what my average is. So there definitely is highs and lows that come with having a video go viral. But as you can see, I'm still consistent in producing content. And so the next one that really hits and that I learned a lesson from was this one. It's a hot take from a women's hormone coach. And hold on, let me X out of this before it starts playing. So this video, I'm basically saying, because again, this is coming from an educational standpoint. That video was saying that I see not a problem, but one thing I see a lot of makeup influencers on TikTok talk about is their skin issues or their PMS issues or hormone imbalance diagnosis like PCOS or Hashimoto's or whatever. Yet they are throwing literally thousands of chemicals on their face every single day, and they may not know it, but those are endocrine disruptors, aka it totally messes with your hormones. And I just think it's a direct correlation of, you know, your whole career is throwing chemicals on your face every day. And I hate to say it, but like that's probably a huge culprit in why you are dealing with these type of issues. And so the lesson with this is I got a lot of comments on this post alone that was like, well, what are clean products that you suggest? What are some brands you suggest? And some other people were putting their input in there as well. But one thing I thought of was, you know, I had a guide called Feed Your Skin. It's a little masterclass about beauty and health and your hormones. And it comes with a guide with like household products, beauty products, everything. But it's a paid offer. It's about like $27, not anything crazy. But I thought, you know, I feel like I'm missing something here if I don't give them something for free and the value right away. So what I did was I just took a little bit of excerpts from that Feed Your Skin paid guide, and I created on my website an email opt-in list, which basically in exchange for the person's email that they would get this free guide. And you will hear me say this time and time again in this masterclass, that email is king. We do not own social media. We are renting from it, and we're renting our storefront on it. And God forbid you're hacked. God forbid your, social media goes down, that something happens. You always have that direct contact through email, and that's super valuable. So I was like, you know what? I'll do that. I'll get a free guide that people can opt into that will get them started. And then I can even upsell them, like have a little drip sequence happening where they get a guide the first day, then some more information a few days later, and then it's an upsell to maybe my low entry cycle syncing course. So that was something I tried, and I actually got a lot of traction on. I now have about like over 250 people just on that opt-in list from making that an option for those who follow me on TikTok. So let's get into the next thing. And one thing I will say is that something I've dealt with in the past is like, I show up on social media and what content I'm providing there is free already. So I really had a hard time wanting to give something else for free away, but it did make sense and feel like at least that there was some type of energy exchange by offering them that email opt-in list and having their email in return. Okay, so then we keep scrolling. And we're pretty consistent. We go through Christmas. We have like a little book here, 3 things to do if your period sucks. Again, women are constantly searching for in my niche. You need to think about what this is for your niche, but PMS, weight loss, painful periods, PMDD, PMS, things like that. So using the term period has been really helpful rather than menstrual cycle or whatever have you. So then we get to a big kahuna. After those 2 videos, this was the biggest one that I had, this one. So things I'm defluencing on TikTok because they're effing up your hormones. So this was on January 3rd. So we're like pretty much, I think December, I gave up. There wasn't anything that went really viral. But again, knowing that it was the holidays, I probably wasn't creating as consistent content. So this was a big kahuna, bringing in almost 550,000 views. One of the tricks to going viral is to be keen on optimizing certain trends that are relevant at that time. So the term defluencing had just like risen up on TikTok and the internet in general. I think I had seen so many videos of like people defluencing Stanley cups or things that they were seeing on TikTok that just weren't worth it. That influencers were sharing that you're like, it's not worth the hype. So I was like, this is a great opportunity to use this word for my niche, which is cycle syncing. And so I also made this is like, for me, it's not controversial, but for the general population of women, it was very controversial. I told them that they should eat food before their coffee. And let me tell you, you would think I was taking a woman's firstborn with the comments on this. I don't want to click on it. You can definitely go visit yourself because I don't want to have to scroll all the way back again. But women thought that I was the rudest person even suggesting that. So unfortunately, virality does love controversy. Even if what you're saying is true, if it's controversial and kind of challenges the status quo, which the status quo for most women is to wake up, press their coffee machine start button, and then drink a cup of coffee, which is horrible for your hormones. So you got to be able to handle the heat. And so for me, I've been in an industry in the online space for almost 11 years. I'm used to people coming at me with controversy, with rebuttals, with excuses. But I will say that because of the influx of viewerships and comments on this particular post, it was a little bit mentally tough for me because there was lots of negative comments, and they weren't even negative to me. people were actually very lovely. And some people were even like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing this. But no one was like beating me up as a person. But what I mean by negative comments is that it was just like a lot of excuses, a lot of like, I could never, no, I can't, I won't, I don't, and I was just like, being bombarded with that. And it's like, dude, give yourself some more credit than that. Like the fact that you can like roll in the dough and like live your life and birth a human and you think you can't like eat a little bit before coffee is just like the most obscene thing that I've ever heard in my life. So I was also getting, however, though, besides those negative implemented comments and comments, I was also getting a lot of questions about, okay, then like, what should I eat? I can't really eat that much, or I don't have that much time. What should I eat? And people were open to it. So it became this teachable moment where I was like, okay, let's take a second. I saw all these comments were rolling in. I'm like, let's think about this for just a minute. Instead of replying to everything right away, instead of acknowledging every single comment as it was happening, what can I do to point these people in the right direction? And so the night of when this video was blowing up, I quickly came up with a $7 breakfast guide that kind of went over why it's important to, I literally typed it up on a Google Doc and made it a PDF and then put it on my website. And it was about why it's important to drink coffee, especially if you're a menstruating woman, how it's important for your results. And then I came up with a bunch of breakfast routine or breakfast ideas that were high in protein and also didn't include just eggs, because a lot of the comments were, I can't eat that many eggs. I can't eat that much bacon or sausage, whatever. And it's like, you need to break the mindset that breakfast has to look a certain way. So I explained that in the guide, made a quick guide, put it in the links in my bio, in my link tree, and a huge amount of people bought into that. $7. And that also got them on like my email list too. So it was a win-win for me. If that's how people get started, by just eating a little bit of breakfast on their cycle syncing journey, then that's how they get started, baby. And I was okay with that. Okay. So you can see again, some of the videos surrounding this got a little bump because of it. I defluenced something else here. I forget what that was. This was for skincare. And so skincare and makeup on TikTok is just like so easy. And I'm lucky because my niche can like, that's like kind of a subcategory that relates to my niche. But you can see there's definitely a bump. And then not too long after that, I think it was like maybe a week or so, I had this bad boy happen. And that was really fun. So this was February 4th, actually. And it was about how girlies in Jackson Hole actually do their makeup and skincare. So this ties in to making content that's relevant and time sensitive, maybe. So I saw on TikTok that two, at least who I know, two of the biggest makeup influencers, Michaela, I forget her last name, and Alex Earl, they were in Jackson Hole where I live. And they said on, one of them said on their videos that, oh, this brand, it was some makeup brand or some skincare brand. This brand flew us out to show how this makeup and skincare holds up in a dry winter environment. So I live at 6,300 feet in the mountains. It's a dry climate, dry winter. Women or people that come here, they need humidifiers. They need to drink a lot of water. It's just like a whole thing, right? And so I use the name Alex Earl and Michaela and Jackson Hole and skincare and makeup. And I made a video about what I do in my daily skincare routine as someone who actually lives there. And so people appreciate, in this lesson, people really appreciated the realness of this video. They're like, thank you for being honest about like what you actually use, having lived there for 6 years. And then also there were people that who didn't watch my video or watch my video and interpreted it in a weird way, thinking I was dissing the influencers. I was like, actually, no, it's really expensive here. So good on them that they got a free trip to Jackson Hole, because that's not cheap, honey. So good on them. But I'm just showing you how like a real resident of Jackson Hole, how she uses skincare or has a skincare routine. And again, with videos going viral, people do not watch the whole thing most of the time. So they take a blurb, or a little blippet of it, and don't wait to watch the rest and then make a comment about it. But anyway, what I felt was great about this was I already had my skincare email opt-in guide ready to go. So I didn't have to, I was already like feeling like I was gaining traction and had things in place by this point, because I was like, finally, I can just point people right here. Hey, there's a free guide in my bio with all the links to what you're seeing me use in this video. So it felt like, again, I was optimizing things at this point. I was really gaining traction on my list and my email intake, and things were getting good. Okay. So now we come to this month, the month of March. Let's go. Okay. So you can see, yeah, there's a few bumps around here to some of my videos. Thanks to that one going viral. Which was fun. It was a lot of fun. What's the next one that goes viral? Oh yeah, okay. So this video video is the most viral and it's so stupid. It's and I'll get to that in a second, but there was a trend on TikTok of like ancestors being like, what are you doing? And a lot of people would make videos like, oh, I'm recording a TikTok, and their ancestors are like, WTF, like, what is that? Where for me, I was like thinking about my niche, and I'm like, cycle syncing is bringing it back to your body, bringing it back to, what our nature is. So I thought ancestors would be so proud to see that women these days are starting to sync their food and their fitness to their cycle. Okay. So this video I had recorded, and it did not go viral until 2 weeks later. So the great thing about this was that I already had, so I not only created a free opt-in for the makeup guide that I had mentioned about, I also have a free guide for a female entrepreneur about period power plays that you can take during the week of your period. And then I also have a menstrual meal plan. So a little 4 recipes that you can try during the week of your period. So I have like 3 opt-ins, and I'll get to a new one that I'm even going to start now today after this masterclass, because I realized that it was needed. But I had all of these things already I used Linktree. So I had the Linktree of all the links of the freebies in my bio. And so how I knew this was blowing up, and this is a telltale sign for me that something's going viral, is the minute I see my inbox blowing up with people opting into these free guides that I have in my links. That's when I know shit's going viral. So for this, the night before, I was like kind of off TikTok. I was not looking at it before bed, and I'll talk about boundaries in a moment. But I saw my email blow up, and I was like, something's happening. And so the next morning, I didn't even open it up until I did my morning routine. But lo and behold, this was at like 500,000. It was ridiculous. It literally went crazy overnight, but it took 2 weeks to get there. So that's pretty nuts too. And so let's see. Oh, and I also I had a Etsy shop in the links of my Linktree. So there were also orders coming in, which was really exciting to see. Actually paid stuff, not just email opt-ins. So let me make sure I went over the lessons for that. Oh, the cool lesson about this one was that I learned not all women knew what cycle syncing was. Who knew? So I think within our own niches, we're so close to them that we don't realize that people don't know about the information that we teach, whether you're a mindset coach or a photographer or a VA. Like, a lot of people don't know about specific industries. So it was really cool that on this particular video, people were like, what are you talking about? What is this? Like, and I obviously made so much content around it like so much content, and it was a great inspiration to reply to comments with videos instead of writing it out. And so that was a really, really cool thing. You can see I got a few bumps in viewership here. And then the other day, literally Saturday, I think it was, this bad boy decided to get beefed up. Okay. So I stitched this video. Basically, there was a woman saying that there's something about men who get annoyed when their wife sleeps in or something. And so I didn't like agree or disagree with whatever she was talking about. It was just like a podcast and she was just talking. But I thought it was a cool educational moment to share, the reason why women and men are a little bit different in the morning, sometimes, not all the time, is that a woman's hormone cycle fluctuates throughout the course of the month. So sometimes we can just get up and go and be like totally okay. And sometimes we need to sleep in and we need that extra sleep. Where a man's hormone cycle resets every 24 hours. And that's why they wake up with a surge of testosterone and can just get up and go sometimes. Not all men, but especially with testosterone on the low side. But I just thought that was a cool educational moment. And so I did not know that this was going viral because I did not have all those email opt-ins. And I think it's just the nature of what the content was. I didn't point them anywhere, which is totally fine. And honestly, there's so many comments on this video and it's people interacting with each other, men and women fighting with each other. I honestly have not looked at the comments of this video much, maybe once a day, because I'm just like, people can talk all they want. Like, I'm not going to put my input in. They can just like give me this, free interaction and boost in the algorithm, right? And so many comments, but definitely it's been fun. This is like the most neutral I've felt around virality. I'm just like, cool, I like check it every now and then, but like it's doing its thing. And yes, I have gotten some email opt-ins and orders, but not the influx like these other videos have. And I think that just has to do with the content that I posted. And so then this morning, I had a video that was 50K views, and you can see it's not here anymore. I deleted it, and let me tell you why. So this is another lesson. So I had made a bunch of drafts the other day. I like to record TikToks while I'm walking. And one thing, once you get your cycle to a healthy place through cycle syncing, one thing that's really cool is that the week of your period, you don't feel as tired, you don't feel like your emotions are all over the place. It's a really great and quiet time actually in your cycle. And so it's a time of the cycle where the two hemispheres in your brain are communicating clearer than ever. And so I was making a video of how like you should listen to your gut reactions during the week of your period because of this. And I explained why, what I just said. Well, it started blowing up and I wasn't looking overnight this past night, and I wasn't looking at comments or anything because I'll tell you about my boundaries in a minute. But I was like, oh, great, people are commenting, things are happening and whatever. And then right before I left to go host this masterclass, I realized a lot of the comments were, well, I have suicidal thoughts during the week before my period. So what are you telling me? Or I hate this person and that person and like hate this and that. So you're telling me I should listen to that. That's heavy. And that was not my intention. I think if you guys who know me and know my soul watch that video, you would say like, that's not what you were saying at all. But this was a lesson. And this was a situation where number one, I do not fuck with that shit. I don't fuck with suicide. I don't fuck with people that, had those types of stuff. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but that is not my niche. That is not my forte. That is not my expertise. I am not equipped to help people at that state. And I would never want to imply that you should listen to any of those thoughts because obviously we know why. So that was an instance where it's like, I could have made videos to defend myself and let the video live on, but no, not worth it to me. So I just wanted to be completely transparent and vulnerable there because that's another lesson in virality. People will take what you say and twist it to what they think or what they're experiencing. And that can be dangerous in some circumstances and can be agitating, and that can affect their mental health and your mental health. And that's not why we're on social media, right? We want to protect our mental health. So I really just wanted to share that because I think that was an important lesson that maybe God wanted me to make sure I definitely included in this masterclass. So now we're at the top here. So those were the lessons that I learned. I do want to mention that I do not pin my really high virality videos to the top of my profile like you can in Instagram or TikTok, because I like the fact that people have to scroll down to see what they just watched. It gives you better viewership. They might see something else that sticks out to them. I just think it's a way for people to be on your page a little bit longer. And the great thing about virality is that even if the content around it isn't going viral yet, like I've showed you multiple times, it will definitely get a boost whenever you have videos that come after your viral content, okay? And then just a few more notes about the lesson. So obviously, just because videos go viral does not mean instant money in my account. I do have ways to make instant money. I have a website that shows ways to work with me. I have an Etsy store, and I have those free opt-ins, but it also doesn't mean money was lost. I got multiple women through TikTok and my virality to sign up for my Feed Your Phase course, which teaches you how to sync your food and your fitness to your cycle. I got my first one-on-one client from TikTok, and that's a $900 per month container. So money is not lost. And I literally have hundreds upon hundreds of emails on my email list now that I get to market and upsell to once a week with my weekly newsletter. So definitely something to take into consideration. I'm going to stop sharing that part before we get into a few other slides, and I want to check the chat for a second. Okay. Love this. Okay, so let's see here. Most people are on Insta and TikTok. Yeah, the vibe on TikTok can be good or bad. I get that. Yes. Breakfast before coffee, please. Yes, I still have the breakfast PDF. I'll share that in the comments at the end. A huge fear of holding me back is my truth is ugly and I want to bring light to darkness. Totally get that. Even if you can like shed a little bit of your story and then maybe get people into a container where you can like fully immerse yourself and like share what you're going through, that could be helpful. These are great examples. I'm missing the tactics and strategies we can personally use. Well, I'm about to get into that. I was just showing you some of the lessons that I've learned. Okay, so let's get into that. Okay, back to the slides. Okay, so let's get into just a little bit of the pros and cons of TikTok versus Instagram. Oops. Okay. So for TikTok, and let me know how you guys feel about this information that I'm sharing. But for me personally, I find that TikTok is a great place to bring new people into your world. And then Instagram for me is a real place I like to nurture people, for them to truly get to know me and just know that this is what's working for me. What works for you can be different, or you can take and leave whatever you'd like from this masterclass. This is a masterclass about my experience that I hope that you can benefit from. So I think TikTok is really great for like storytelling, quick and educational or funny content based on like what's relevant, what's current, what's going on right now, what are some trends. Believe me, if I could tie cycle syncing into Taylor Swift era concert tour, I would. But I'm still trying to figure that out. But that would definitely get me in the right algorithm and to people who could learn more about cycle syncing. So you're definitely, a pro is definitely that you're able to optimize on trends like that ancestors one that I showed you that got me the most views, or use the people that are bigger on TikTok and use their names in a classy way, of course, just like I did with Alex Earl visiting Jackson Hole. And it's obviously easier to go viral on TikTok at like super high numbers that maybe you just couldn't achieve on Instagram. And what I like about it is usually the relatable content is king, and there are a lot of supportive women, and it is a great way to build an email list and a following, and you don't really have to be like polished or rehearsed. I heard someone once tell me to use TikTok like you use Instagram stories, like make TikTok videos like you make Instagram stories, and that's going to be like a lot more the vibe of TikTok, and I found that to be true. But it can be hard to build like a consistent community at first, because most of the content that is being shown or that people are looking at is on the For You page, not the following page. So I know for me personally, I'm on the For You page. People I follow, I see their content here and there. You're more likely to show up on someone's For You page once you follow them, but it's not always guaranteed. Another thing is that TikTok people are very demanding. They want things ASAP. They want things free. Like on that ancestors video, people were like, where is she? Did she post it yet? Did she share what's happening, what cycle syncing is yet? Like, oh my gosh, how can she just post that and walk away? It's like, well, I posted it 2 weeks ago, honey. So people are very like, excuse me. And so you have to have kind of a thick skin around that and not feel like you're a slave to your audience and what they're demanding. And I just feel like it's like not polite. I don't know. Maybe just because I'm an entrepreneur myself, I'm like, yeah, it's just not polite to like demand people and their time like that. There's negative comments. Like I said, like I had to delete a video today. It's not very easy to DM on TikTok. They don't have like a voice memo app. I think you can DM back and forth now, even if you don't follow someone. That didn't used to be the case, but there's no voice memo app. And I just love to voice memo people on Instagram DMs. So I find that to kind of be a downer. And not all people are ready to pay high ticket prices. Obviously, I told you my one-to-one client is from there, so it's not, not possible, but it is important to get some of those TikTokers off into a different vessel where you can really nurture them and they can get to know you. But the energy of the email exchange, again, is still gold to me, so I find it very valuable. For Instagram, I feel like it's a place of community and people get to know you. You can sell on your stories, have mini trainings, and kind of give a glimpse of what it's like to work with your clients and like what it's like to work with you when you're on Instagram stories in general. So there's definitely a higher caliber of paying clients, especially if you are niched and have clear messaging. We have a lot of history on Instagram. It's been around much longer than TikTok, but also that can be kind of a con because our following can be a lot more friends and family. And maybe like for me, my previous business, a lot of my following is from that. So that's still something that I'm trying to like kind of escalate from. And it definitely has more foundation, and DMs and voice notes are easier. But a con is it's just Instagram is so confused. They don't know if they want to be a picture app or a reel app or a video app or a music app. And I think we all have been thrown all over the place with Instagram as of late. We know that I also think that in general, like I used to maybe think that it was easier to go viral on Instagram Reels, but now with everything changing, I feel like organic networking is best, meaning like creating content that can be reshared a lot, whether that's a carousel post or a motivational reel that's much more of like aesthetic and lifestyle than you talking to the camera. And it also means that like that type of content has to be pretty consistent then, which can be exhausting depending on what your social media strategy is. And also there's obviously the whole Instagram versus reality. It's much more polished and not as fun as TikTok can be. For me personally, sometimes I'm like, I don't need to learn anything else here on Instagram today. I'm going to TikTok to go have fun and like laugh a little bit, right? All of this to say, neither platform, in my opinion, is really better than the other. There's pros and cons, good and bad to each one. And if you go viral on either of them, you can use both to work in your favor. So again, I cast the net with TikTok and then I reel them in quite literally into Instagram and get them in the DMs. And especially if they've left a comment on one of my viral videos and they're like, help me, I'm like, go find me on Instagram. My name is the same. Send me a DM and tell me what you're dealing with. And that's how I've gotten a lot of people to sign up for my programs. However, maybe you want to be that Instagram account where everyone is waiting for your Twitter post or carousels to reshare and your ship blows up. And that's totally okay too. You can focus solely on Instagram for that reason. Neither is wrong, and only you're a big girl, you're a business owner, only you can decide what's going to work for you. But let's deep dive into some of the strategy I've touched on and what's important to have in place when it comes to going viral or before you go viral. So guys, it wouldn't be a menstrual mogul class unless I had some type of pop culture reference, right? So like I mentioned in the beginning of this, when I went viral, I kind of felt paralyzed. I was like, oh my gosh, so many new eyes. I kind of want to work with all of them, yet I only have an offer that's mid-ticket, like a couple $100s, and that's not going to work for the masses, right? So contrary to what I'd like to think, not every woman cares about cycle syncing the way that I do or that many women do now. And so you really do have to meet your clients at different levels of where they are in your customer journey and kind of just meeting them where they are at currently. So if you've taken any of my cycle syncing courses, I can't help myself. I have to break this down in terms of Destiny's Child because we're going to assume that it's pre-2006 and that they haven't broken up yet. But let's break down like the different 3 levels of entry and like where they're at in accordance to this group. So let's see. Level 1 is Michelle, and she is free. Obviously, Michelle is important to Destiny's Child, even though as entrepreneurs, she may not be our favorite member of the group. Our free offer is not our favorite thing to give away, but it serves its purpose. And the group wouldn't be the same without it, right? The ensemble would be just off kilter if you didn't have this point of entry. So a Michelle level 1 point of entry into your magical world could be a freebie opt-in. I've told you I have a free skin PDF that people can opt into and download, as well as a menstrual meal plan, period power plays. There's no strings attached. Each comes with a follow-up email sequence or an email drip selling them a low ticket offer, about $47. And then they also get my weekly newsletter emails. But maybe you have a free community and that's what they can opt into to learn from you. Maybe it's a place where you sell and talk about your offers. That can be something that they opt into as well and get support from you. And so when I'm batch creating content during the specific phases of my cycle that support it, I am often creating content that can always point to one of these freebies, or it could be a free group, like I mentioned. And so that's what makes the intention behind my content really palpable. And like, no matter what I make, it's going to point someone somewhere and that my energy was worth it, in addition to the education I'm already giving them on social media. So on TikTok, I'll make content about my period or misconceptions around periods, and then I can point them to my menstrual meal plan freebie, or I can talk about energy management as an entrepreneur and point them to my period power plays opt-in. And so for most of my viewers, for most of the people on TikTok, again, or this could be Instagram, depending on where you go viral, whenever you're dealing with the masses, usually women are not like in the second or third stage of your customer journey. Like, so for me, a lot of people don't even know about the 4 phases of their cycle, but they know when they have their period. They know that week, right? So I created free content that can help them get started no matter what their level of education is around this niche topic. So for you, maybe you're a mindset coach and you could give them 5 journal prompts for a better mindset. Or maybe you're a wedding photographer and you can give them a free bridal checklist that they can opt into. It's kind of like a subcategory of what your niche is that can match a woman and get them connected into your world. So then after we had Michelle, we have level 2, which is Kelly. Now, Kelly is kind of a step up from Michelle, let's be honest. She has a career of her own that she continued with post Destiny's Child, and it's been successful in its own terms, and she is not to be overlooked. She is besties with the queen bee still and knows her worth and her place in this ensemble. So most women, like I said, like when they first find me, some women are unicorns and are ready to opt in to my mid-ticket offers, but most aren't. They don't know me that well yet. They're just getting to know me. And honestly, I'd probably feel the same way. I'd want to do my due diligence and do some stalking in order to see if this person is going to be able to help me. However, I say that being in the niche that I am in, a niche where it does take some convincing for women to want to care about their cycle and their health. So again, use discretion about whatever niche you find yourself in. But a $7 breakfast guide, a $35 cycle syncing journal on Etsy, yes, they are down for that. They can commit to that. That's still lower risk. And this is how I don't leave money on the table. I've literally made hundreds, probably by now thousands, on these low-cost offers by viral videos. And it's not high cost or the end-all be-all program that I would hope that they would be set up with. But I see it as two things. Something is better than nothing, and a woman is still getting started on her cycle syncing journey no matter what. So I like to have something low cost to meet them where they're at and available and ready for them. And by having a product suite with offers at every level and price point, I am able to get these women into my menstrual mogul world, and then they can grow and they can up level from what I teach inside that low cost offer. They're going to want more, and it will transition into a higher cost offer. So I will never hold myself back from marketing low cost stuff, especially because of the niche I teach it in. So Kelly, this level 2 offer, it has power, it has presence, and it's a great place for women to dip their toes into your atmosphere. But if women who find you from virality want the whole package, like they are ready, they are unicorns, they got to go with the queen bee of entry points, which is a level 3 Beyonce, okay? So this very much looks like getting these women who are asking questions in the comments of your viral video into your DMs and upselling them to a mid or high ticket offer. Beyonce is it, right? At least to me. I know she doesn't have to be to everyone, but she is to me. She's got it all. And this may be your higher level offer is for women. Sorry, let me go back. This is definitely a higher level offer for women that find you from going viral. These are for the unicorns. This could be signing up right off the bat for your evergreen course or applying to your one-on-one container. I had someone who found me on TikTok, I don't even know who she was. She applied to my one-to-one container and signed up for it. That's a $900 offer, okay? So this is definitely crucial and good to have as something and an option for the women that find you from virality. So when you go viral, you could very well have women, like I said in the comments, be like, tell me more. I'm in. How can I work with you? And when this happens, I love to always interact with them a bit. This doesn't mean that I'm coaching them for free in my DMs, but rather I'm investigating what they're truly looking for and struggling with and how I can help them. And because I have like a plethora of offers at every level, I'm able to pair them and match them with the right one. So again, I've just sold countless cycle syncing courses, my one-to-one offers, And it was totally okay that some of these people that slid into my DMs, they weren't ready for Beyonce. They couldn't handle Beyonce yet. They wanted to start with like a Kelly, and that's totally cool too. So feel free to let me know in the chat, like, what do you need or what do you already have that you can use as an opt-in or as an offer for when and if you go viral? Let me know if you have any questions. I'll check right now. And comment like where you feel like you are in your business. Do you have everything ready, or do you feel like you need more? Let's see. Perfect example. I definitely manifested you to help learn about cycle thinking. Thank you, Emily. Definitely, I need to warm them up to the problems more. Other than tantrums, I should put emphasis on low cost. Yeah. Perfect. Cool. Okay. Okay. Now let's keep going. We're almost done, I promised. Okay, so just a few other things to be ready for. So you definitely want these 3 points of entry at minimum. I feel like you can, I definitely have more than just 3 points. I have like multiple free offers, multiple mid-ticket, multiple low-ticket ones too. But honestly, these entry points are a way to make virality feel really effortless and fun, because you are waking up to your inbox being flooded with opt-ins to your email list, or these low ticket offers or even high ticket offers just rolling into your inbox, and payments being flooded in there too. It's a really, really cool feeling. And then to physically present these or these links to the different offers, make sure that you have something like a link tree, or I've even heard of Stand Store being something that you have in your site. I personally use Linktree because it's really easy to update and take things on and off of. And I do actually have a different Linktree on my TikTok than I do on my Instagram, because it's a different type of clients. You guys are from my Instagram, you're a higher paying caliber of client to me. And I really respect you guys and take that seriously. And TikTok, again, you're kind of casting a net. And so I like to just give a more general, very simple offer to them that will definitely get them started and get a taste of what cycle syncing is like. And like I mentioned earlier, TikTok, you have to have 1,000 followers to have a link. So again, if you struggle with getting, or if you don't have a link yet, if you don't have 1,000 followers yet, just try to get them over to Instagram to have that conversation with them. And then one more thing to notate before or when really you go viral is that has been a complete game changer for me, is you ideally want to create content strategy that is mostly niche related. And you guys are business owners, so this might be a redundant point for you or something that you already know, but I just thought it was worth reiterating specifically in this masterclass. There's truly nothing right or wrong. Obviously, you are running your business online, you know what you're doing, you know what content to post, but it's also important to know that depending on what goes viral could determine a lot of things. So maybe, hold on, I lost my notes here. Okay. So let me give an example first. Okay. So there's truly no right or wrong, but let's say you're a business coach and you have a video blow up that's really cute about your dog. Maybe you did a trend with your dog, right? Even though you have the right offers and the right freebies in place, it's likely that the majority of people viewing your content may hop to your page and not be interested in the services, or they thought that by looking at your profile that they'd see a dog, and then they just see you in your coaching business and they're like, okay, I don't think I'm going to follow them. And of course, there's always exceptions. You could go viral and other women in business find you and they love the fact that you have a dog, and it's just a lot less likely that that'll happen. But really focus on creating content that is a few categories away from your offers so that it can connect with a bigger niched audience For instance, again, like I said, makeup doesn't really have to do with cycle syncing, but it is kind of correlated with it. Our hormones are affected by makeup, so that's something that I can tie into. So begin brainstorming some of these subcategories for your content, especially if they're trendy in certain social media platforms. So maybe you love to travel and you want to show how being a coach allows you to do that. Or maybe you're a podcast manager and you want to give like public speaking advice and build your authority in a way that like also promotes your services and people know that you know what you're doing. You get the picture. You have to think about this for yourself. You're a big girl, you're an entrepreneur. I know you can think of what this looks for you, but it definitely helps you be better equipped in achieving virality with that type of content. So let me know how this feels, what thoughts or feelings are coming up, and like if you are starting to feel more equipped for virality. I use Linktree free, Emily. Free is great. I really don't see that I need anything more than Linktree free. One reel went viral and it was totally the wrong audience, Middle Eastern and Indian men, even though it was about my niche. Yeah, all these things kind of come into play. And you know what? Nothing's right or wrong. It's just kind of a learning experience. Yay, setting up entry points and creating content pointed towards that makes a lot of sense. Yes. And it also kind of like takes the stress off of like, okay, what do I make? What do I make as content this week? And it's like, okay, well, what freebies can I point people to? Or like maybe there's a topic you'll be talking about on your email list or on an Instagram live or wherever, and you can point people in that direction. It kind of just takes the pressure off of like thinking what to create. Okay, so strategy is one thing, but the real work that I have found most important and that has made me feel most equipped, being neutral and like chill and having fun during virality, is definitely boundaries. So these are simple, but I'm going to explain it. This is the most important part of the masterclass, in my opinion. So let me know in the comments who here has gotten like a dopamine hit when someone purchases your course, maybe when you've gained that traction from going viral and having a bunch of new followers or likes, and that you're like being smothered in comments, right? It's like a direct hit. It's a slippery slope though, right? I know we're talking about social media here, but I do think that virality is like a slice, like a sliver of what it's like to be famous. And we know what fame can do to people that like we're not ready for it. I think of Justin Bieber, Miley Cyrus, or any other like teen pop sensations. They don't have like the maturity and the boundaries put in place to handle that level of admiration and criticism. So it leads to them seeking validation through others or find themselves like a little bit lost of what to do. And then when the virality or the quote unquote fame fades, what are they left with? I always think of that Selena Gomez speech where she was winning an award and she talks about how she had everything and she felt like it was nothing because she wasn't happy, because she wasn't fulfilling herself. And again, this is so dramatic, but it's easy to see how social media and going viral could mimic the same feelings of fame in today's world. And we see that with Gen Z all the time. So here are my personal 3 practical boundaries I've implemented in virality and honestly in business in general that will be so powerful for you too. So turn off all notifications, no pings, no push notifications from the apps. I literally am blown away if women have this on their phone. I actually like, even prior to burning out from my first 6-figure business, I still never had push notifications from Instagram, Facebook, or any other social media platform. Turn them off. By keeping them on, you are really giving your phone and social media the power instead of the other way around. You run your phone doesn't run you. Remember that. And I'll say it again. You run your phone doesn't run you. Okay. Remember the years when we didn't even have social media, depending on how old you are, and like we had things to do other than be notified when someone needs us or has something to say. We were definitely getting more done without the distractions, and we weren't hit with microdosed dopamine hits every few minutes from our phone. And so when our notifications are off, we are in a less reactive and defense mode. I know Tasha's on here and she can commend this because she's a regulating coach or a self-regulating coach. And our nervous system is just so much happier. And that makes me happy is because when our nervous system and our stress is down, that means our hormones are happy too. Okay. So your notifications are off and you can choose to enter social media when it works for you. How do you handle, so when that happens though, whenever you are approaching social media, when you're ready, how do you handle answering comments and an influx of questions when you go viral? It's very overwhelming. And definitely in my first few videos of going viral, I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta respond ASAP or else I'll lose traction or else it'll slow down. And I was so wrong. Now, like case in point today included, I take my time with comments and I really try to read what the audience is saying and act accordingly. Not to say that they're determining my steps or how I run my business, but it's just to kind of get an overall sense of like what the market is saying, if you will. So again, it could be a great guide in determining a mini offer or a next piece of content of what your audience needs. So pay attention, but also don't feel like you're a slave to them. Hold on one second. Let me make sure my Wi-Fi is good. Yay, Tasha. Thank you. Okay. So I like to, when I'm going viral, I like to choose a time to respond, maybe like 3 or 4 times a day. And I really take the time, especially on TikTok, to create a video response because it's a double whammy. You're creating new content while also answering questions for your audience. And then I get people into my DMs and just, again, take note of the vibe. And then when I do get those demanding comments like, give me, where is she? Why didn't she share this? Again, I am not a slave to followers or social media. I ignore these comments and let them build up my analytics, if anything. But again, I run my social media. It doesn't run me. So I don't feel like pressure to answer these people who are pretty demanding. And then when I get straight up mean comments, usually it's women asking, what are your credentials? Like, why should I listen to what you have to say? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, honey, like you don't have to comment or follow me at all. I know in my heart of hearts, what I am teaching is life changing. I know that I have good intentions. So I don't let hateful people into my page. I straight up block and delete them if it's really vulgar and something that I don't want to see. So take your time and interact with as many comments as you can, but in a reasonable manner. You don't have to be a slave to it. It's not going to affect virality. The people who took the time to comment who are polite are definitely worth the investment of like creating a video response or getting them into your DMs. And then lastly, this is the biggest thing that has been a game changer for me. And again, back to the celebrity reference, I want you to imagine that when or if you have gone viral, like that influx, or if you haven't yet, imagine the influx of comments, of views, or of follows, or of orders that you're going to get that will be your daily norm. What if that was just like your everyday, getting that amount of attention? And so let me know in the comments, how would you be approaching your day if that was your everyday life, getting that amount of attention? What would still need to get done? How much would you be on your phone? Like if that was your daily norm, you wouldn't be on your phone all day, every day, right? So start acting like that. So for example, if I was incessantly getting this attention, which is becoming more and more frequent, I would still want to get my meal prep in. I was still gonna want to get my morning routine and workout in. I would still want to be creating programs and focusing on my paying clients and my one-on-one clients. I'd also want to prioritize my family, friends, and my dog. So despite going viral or not, that's what I do regardless. My phone is on airplane mode in the morning until my morning routine is done. Until I've done my mindset work, Usually my workout, I'm not 100% perfect with this every single day, but I do take breaks and get outside without my phone every day, despite being viral or not. I stop thinking about every little thing in my day and thinking it needs to be recorded in order to be content. Not every beautiful moment needs to be a piece of content for your business. So again, this prioritization needs to be happening for you now, whether you went viral or not. You are going to go viral and create a big following, but you need to be equipped with the boundaries around your phone now. So act as if. If you want mega exposure while still maintaining a healthy balance, you need to prioritize yourself now. It's a slippery slope when we go viral and you're getting a lot of attention. It makes you feel important and like you're successful. But take that viral component out for a minute. Ask yourself, this was one of the biggest things that changed my life in this year so far. How can you make yourself feel seen? How can you make yourself feel important? How can you make yourself feel successful right now without the orders, without the emails, without the virality? I want you to truly think about that and then write it down and do those things. For me, that's meal prepping, working out, going skiing and getting out into the mountains where I live, like actually living life. And I do this regardless. And it's crazy, but my success has grown exponentially, like 10x, by prioritizing myself and my happiness and doing the things that I love and that prioritize me the most now, not when I go viral or see that, massive amount of success. So for me, I really think the universe or God or whatever you believe isn't going to give you something that you can't handle. So perhaps you're not reaching that next step in your business or in your following or income or whatever it may be, because you don't have the boundaries in place to handle that next level of success right now. So begin acting as if, and that's where your success will go if you have those boundaries in place. But with everything we just went through, you are more than equipped now. You have everything I know about going viral, at least. So here's the truth. And oh my gosh, if you know this movie reference, you get me. The truth about going viral is that in many ways, it's like winning the lottery. It's all about time, being in the right place, talking about the right things. Like I've talked about trends and time sensitive topics, and we can increase our chances of winning by buying a ticket, which in this case is creating content. And with the lottery in real life, if we were buying a ticket to the lottery, we aren't banking on winning each and every time, right? But we still keep showing up to work because we need to make a living, but in hopes that, if we buy a ticket, there's a chance that we'll go viral or win the lottery. So in this case on social media, it really comes down to increasing your chances by consistently creating content for your various platforms, which leads me to ask, how consistent are you with showing up to your social media storefront? Because social media truly is a rented storefront space. Do you feel like you have the energy to create content and enter into the viral lottery daily? Or do you feel drained and overwhelmed by social media and feeling less than inspired or overwhelmed? Many women, including on this call, have told me that they struggle to be consistent with social media, which leads them to like missing the boat on their dream clients. And obviously that decreases their exposure and virality, which is why I created the only social media strategy course exclusive to women. So I've not announced that this cart is opening for this anywhere else, but Sync Your Social is officially open to you guys. So who would even create a social media course that syncs with your menstrual cycle? Me. Okay. And I've been following this method and strategy for the past 2 years, and I definitely credit my virality to being consistent with social media, as I shared time and time again on this masterclass. So if you have loved, or if any of this information has been helpful to you, you are going to be obsessed with Sync Your Social. So here's a breakdown. It's a 4-week mini course with the purpose of giving you a content creation strategy that syncs with your cycle, thus making you a content creating machine that you just churn out consistently as fuck. So inside of our 4 weeks together, I'm so excited to be preparing this right now behind the scenes. You'll get a little bit of education in the forefront because a lot of women, again, don't know about the 4 phases of their cycle. So I'll break down the 4 phases and what to do if you're on birth control. And that way you'll get an overall vibe of what the 4 phases are and the superpowers that come with each phase of your cycle. After that, we're going to map out how you can create posts, videos, stories, or more, whatever content platform you're on, to fall within each phase of your cycle so that you have a meaty library content that you can constantly be pulling from. And then I'm going to take you behind the scenes of the Sync Your Social signature calendar, giving you a play-by-play of how I create content over the course of my cycle and optimize it, and also how to use story prompts and just be a bit more planned out in a way that flows with my cycle, making me, again, consistent with my content. And lastly, we'll tie a bow on this journey by sharing how to show up on social media, even when your cycle isn't supporting it, even when we're not feeling great, especially during that PMS danger zone, how to exude confidence within each phase of your cycle, as well as boundaries beyond what I shared today to keep in place as you're creating content for your business with your cycle. So let me know what you think about that. This course kicks off Monday. And so because you are a part of this masterclass, you are going to, right off the bat, get $50 off. I know Chelsea is already a part of this and she was on this call, but I want to give you, hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, this should be the $50 off link. If not, let me know and I'll make sure I get that updated, but it'll be emailed to you along with the replay of this class, so no worries. But it kicks off on Monday. You get this course for only $127, which is crazy. And there's also an upgrade feature to get a social media audit at a discounted price. So if you wanted me to have my eyes on your content, pick out any blind spots, maybe give you some ideas on what to create, and any missing pieces that I see right off the bat, that would be an amazing VIP upgrade. And I'm so excited because the strategy and foundation taught inside of this course will literally be relevant to you until menopause, which should be like a huge sigh of relief. Out of everything we chatted about today, this is going to leave you the most equipped to go viral because you're consistently creating content through syncing it with your cycle. So if you want to join, you have until Friday to use this discounted link. It expires Friday night. And then after that, the price goes up to $177. And the thing is, social media is meant to be effortless and fun. At least for me, it is now. And I can vouch that wasn't always the case for me. But now that I've been syncing my content to my cycle and really doubling down during the phases that support it, it's been a blast. And I want it to be a blast for you too. So I'm going to just take a look at the chat one more time and stop sharing my screen. But let me know if you guys have any questions about what I shared today. And if not, we can sign off. Share, stop share. Okie dokie. Let me look at the chat. Boundaries are hard. Do I answer those bad comments? No, not anymore. Usually, especially if people are asking my credentials, I personally, and this is like why I want to create a podcast, because I'd love to just share my true feelings on social media. But any healing, any guidance, anything that's truly changed my life has usually happened outside of a doctor's office. So I really hate getting the like, what are your credentials? Like as if I should be a doctor, because honestly, no doctor has helped me. So I don't answer them. Love it. Jody, I'm so happy. Yeah, let me know what like was maybe a light bulb moment for you guys. If there were any, I feel like I've shared all I could that was relevant for me going viral. And also honestly, my 11 years experience in the online space. Missing a low cost offer. Okay. Commitment to me over my phone. And let me tell you about the commitment to you over your phone, Jody. It feels so counterintuitive, right? Like we feel like we have to be on more, not just on social media, but in our inbox, in Voxer, in our DMs. We want to be more available. And we think if we're more available, that means we'll be more successful. And I can tell you in my 11 years of experience, that is not the case. It's actually when you step away and live your life, take care of yourself first, and really like prioritize yourself, that things are going to fall into place. I've been doing that the past several months with my mentor, and that has been a game changer, absolute game changer, and absolutely goes against everything I thought I had to be before that, right? So definitely find out what those like self-care things are for you and prioritize the fuck out of them. Simple PDFs instead of being overwhelmed by a program. Yes, PDFs, like take even just like a sliver of a sliver of a sliver of one lesson in your course and like make it a PDF opt-in, and you're gold. Definitely need a few more low cost offers too. Also, the idea of using Instagram Reels for more flight. Yeah, I feel like, and I don't know what side of Instagram I'm on. I feel like we're all on different sides of the internet. So we have to like cumulatively just like check in where we are. But like on the side of Instagram that I'm on, Reels are now like this like lifestyle vibe with just text over it. So like if you have a pretty background, you can download that and like write text over it. And like that's the vibe of Instagram these days. And then education is much more like a carousel post or a Twitter post that's like much more shareable. Like again, that organic sharing is what really helps broaden your audience on Instagram, at least for me these days. But TikTok's great for education, real quick educational content. Okay, any other questions, guys? I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for joining live. I will be uploading this very much like in a few minutes, and you'll get the recording. And again, you have until Friday to join Sync Your Social, which is going to be so incredible. And if you have questions about that, slide into my DMs. Even if you don't have questions about it, slide into my DMs. I want to know what this was like for you. And I hope you guys have such a wonderful day. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.